Hey, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about Resident Evil 7, a new horror game coming out, and it's looking pretty good. I just wanted to talk about where I think the series is going, what I think is going to happen, and here we go. So, we've got 2 demos out of Resident Evil 7, which it's basically the same demo, but the second version of it had a few new things, new surprises in it. And what it seems to be is that they're dialing back the series. I think that they are trying to make Resident Evil 7 the next Resident Evil 4. And let me explain what I mean by that. The first 3 games were tank controls, fixed camera angles, and had more of a focus on survival, puzzles, and atmosphere. When 4 came along, it changed the camera angle to behind the player's shoulder. And it still had a sense of fear to it because you couldn't really see what was around each corner. But when it came out, so many people said it revolutionized Resident Evil and the gaming genre, because not that many games had done over the shoulder like that, especially for a horror game. So I think that with trying to change 7 to a first-person perspective, they're trying to gain back that same critical acclaim that they had when 4 came out. They want people to say that this is how Resident Evil should be, this is the best Resident Evil's ever been, things like that. So, with 4, we had the over-the-shoulder. 5 did that too, pretty much the same way. And then 6... it had the over-the-shoulder, but it just got crazy. You could spin the camera around, you could look around corners, so there wasn't an element of horror anymore, and it was just completely action-based. And fans didn't want an action-based Resident Evil, at least I didn't. So, 7 seems to be dialing it all back. It seems to be a fresh start. They're putting in first person, they're focusing on horror, and they're not just doing a zombie survival, city's not overrun with zombies and you're trying to get out kind of thing. It's, you are in the Baker's mansion. The Baker family is your prime antagonist for this game, or at least it seems like it so far. And the Bakers are straight out of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, almost. The demo or the trailer has you sitting down to have dinner with them. And, they're just backward hillbilly, missing teeth. Doesn't look like they've bathed in quite a while. They're eating intestines, or I don't really know what they're eating, but whatever they're eating just doesn't look appealing, and they try to shove it down your throat. And it just gave me this Texas Chainsaw kind of feeling about it. And I don't think that's really ever been done in a game before, something like that, and these kind of characters. So that is something I'm excited about. Another thing is, I like the emphasis on horror that they are taking with this one, because the trailer has you going through these dingy hallways, and at a moment's notice, a guy crashes through a wall at you, just out of nowhere, wielding a shovel and swinging it around trying to kill you. And that's something that I haven't seen in the Resident Evil game in some time, that true aspect of horror, that feeling that I don't want to go down this hallway because of what might be there, what might be around the corner. And I want that, I crave that so much. And a first-person Resident Evil, first-person isn't going to revolutionize this game the way that 4 did. I don't think. That's what they want to happen. But we've had first-person horror games before. We've had Fear and Outlast, the PT demo. We've had that. It's nothing new. But it's new to Resident Evil. It's something we haven't seen. And I like that. I like that. They're changing it up, and it's almost like a reboot of the series. But having said that, it has been confirmed that it takes place after Resident Evil 6. So I wonder if we're going to see any of the main characters from previous games return. If you keep up with Resident Evil, then you know that 4 came out, and then an animated movie called Degeneration came out.
Destroy their brains? Shoot them in the head.
And it was after 4 set up the events for 5. After 5 came out, there was Resident Evil Damnation, which took place after 5, set up the events for 6. Now we have another Resident Evil movie coming out, and the name of it escapes me right now, but it is starring Leon Kennedy and looks to have Chris Redfield in it. So I wonder if this is going to take the same kind of step. Is it going to just set up the story for 7? Are we going to see these characters in 7 at any point? I don't think so. I think it'll set up the events for 7, but I don't think that we'll see these characters in the game. I think they'll definitely be mentioned at some point, maybe through a file or some kind of backstory lore. You might pick a book or something that has Leon's name in it. But I don't think that they'll be really featured. And I think, along with that, I think Umbrella will have a presence in the game, but I don't think that they'll be starring in the game. I think that most of the Resident Evil mainstays are going to take a back seat in this one. And I think that's probably a good thing. That's probably for the best. Just simple story, simple setting, lots of scares. That's all I want. That's all I want from a Resident Evil game. I just want a good game. Want it to be scary, and it looks like 7's going to deliver on that. I really hope so. I'm interested in this one because of the mystery surrounding it. You've got the Baker family, who, yeah, they seem like a backward hillbilly family, straight out of Texas Chainsaw, but there's something really weird about them. There's something not right. In the trailer, there's a car on fire, and the father, I don't remember his name right now at this moment, but the father is climbing out of the car, and he's completely on fire, and the player is shooting him with a handgun. Is shooting him while he's walking on fire, and it doesn't even seem to faze him. It doesn't faze him one bit. So what are these people? What's up with them? And obviously they have some sort of new virus or something of that nature, because you've got Resident Evil 7, Bioshock. I've been playing so much Bioshock lately that that's just all I've got on my brain. But Biohazard is the subtitle. Resident Evil 7, Biohazard is the subtitle in that. So there's something with a virus there. There's something that's putting all of these events in motion. And if we look at the demo, there was a photograph taken from a helicopter above the Baker's house. And I can't really think of anyone else but Umbrella would be behind that. So I don't know really where this is going to take the series. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that this is the most excited I've been about a Resident Evil game for quite some time, because 6 was, in its own way, a fun game, but I wasn't nearly as excited about it as I was with 5 or even 4. But this one has so much around it that they're not telling us that I'm craving to find out. I'm craving to see what happens. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say. If you have anything to say about Resident Evil, any thoughts, feel free to comment. And
welcome to the family, son.